Okay, well, I'm happy that you guys are proactive and participating in this human resource management class. With this being the midterm break period, you can ask any questions. The question that we just got about where are the quiz questions coming from? The blunt answer is they're coming from the textbook. At the end of each chapter, we have textbook topic chapter questions, and they actually have the main points, the main things that we're supposed to be learning are summarized there. So there's the summary notes for each chapter also there next to questions. They also have discussion questions, and so I can show you some of that right now. Inside here, you will hopefully, yes, now you can see my screen. These are in the class Google Drive folder, and where we have the weekly topics, it says week 1 is this topic, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, etc. There's also a folder of extra PPT and information. If you go into there, you will see it says the HRM 11th edition RU's textbook, and the chapter pictures. So those are some of the scans from each area. So I'm showing you now just some of those details that you can take a look at. Everybody, if you just look at the chapter you have, the textbook you have, it's a lot easier to go through. But for anybody that had a difficulty getting the textbook, you know, I have scanned a lot of it, and it's right here. So that's for each of the main chapters that we go through. And again, the main textbook is available in the university bookstore, and this is what it looks like if you wanted to actually buy the book. That's what we should be doing. Is that clear, Mr. Jung?
Yes, Professor, I found it.
Great.
But is this the where quizzes are from?
Good point. I have provided the textbook, and I've provided the PPT, and definitely extra articles, which I think are pretty key. But as we've just heard at the beginning of this class, each student is encouraged to try managing the HR, try managing our class for this topic. So there's students presenting this information each week. And when you try to present, you are given the opportunity to modify these questions and come up with your own. So some students can change these, but if they don't change these, and if they don't get approval for their modified questions, then we will probably be using these questions from the text. So does that answer your question, Mr. Jung?
Very clear.
Thank you for that. As you can see here, when you're going through it, there's information about, I'll just show you. So if I just stop sharing this, and then you guys can see the details again. Each chapter, it goes through, it teaches you parts of the regular chapter, and then at the end it says the main content, a summary of the learning objectives. For example, this talks about defining recruitment is one of the main things you need to know for chapter 6. And then it actually defines what is the definition of it. Next, it talks about discuss job analysis and human resource planning and recruitment. So it defines what that stuff is, what it means. So these are some of the key things we need to know. So a question could be define recruitment, because the answer is right here. And then it goes on, and there's several main points that we're supposed to be learning. And it goes through what are the key terms over here. Where are we? Not sure if you can see this stuff well. You've got two different cameras showing you. Let me just start another one of these videos. Yes, now you can see two different ways. These are the key terms, and this is also review questions. So the main points obviously can be quiz questions. These review questions can be quiz questions. I'm not usually going to use this extra discussion ones because these discussion can go on and on and on. And some of the chapters have many different features. For example, how to write a resume here, or how to prepare for a realistic job preview, or career planning, using the internet to develop your job search and things like that. So these other questions students can use to have quiz questions, but the main points would either be in the review questions or in the learning objectives, the key points. And I have scanned all of that in case you have problems using or buying the textbook online. So, Muslimbek, where have you gotten your team's questions?
Well, we just made some. We didn't do it in the, I'd say, partly. We should sit and discuss with my teammate.
Yes, that would probably be good. And don't forget me too. I am part of your teammate too, right? I want to help you guys develop. So please understand you have to share your at least your quiz questions with me, and you need to share your PPT and your articles with everybody. So make sure that's pretty clear.
Of course.
Anything else I can help you guys with? Anybody want to talk about the research you guys are doing? Or the companies you plan to meet?
Professor, I just have a question about like, what if I am working actually in company right now?
Good. What is your question?
That like applying for the grants, or like applying my resume, like
I don't know what your question is yet. If you already have a job, congratulations. I definitely respect you. I respect anybody that is able to do things, many things at once. So you're developing your studies, great. And you're developing your career, your work experience at the same time, great. If you're saying that you don't need to fix or upgrade your resume, that's your choice. But I am, 50 years old, and I still develop my resume. And one thing that I hope you guys are aware of in this class is a long time ago, in the age of the dinosaurs, people thought that they get a job once with a big company and they can continue working with that company forever. But that is gone because of the ice age. You should be aware that even if you have a job now, you should be thinking about how you can protect yourself if coronavirus slows down business too much and the company needs to lay people off. Have another income source, maybe have another job opportunity. Be careful. A lot of employers won't like the fact that you might work outside. They might not like the fact that you're looking for other jobs, but that you should be aware that that's a reality, that more and more people not want to, more and more people have to do that for security. So you as a student, you're doing some job with one company now, and you're doing this classwork right now. With our classwork, you're supposed to do either a final exam. I have modified it to turn it into something that you can use for your job. You can use our final exam as a paper to show you're a specialist in something and give it to that company. Even though you're working for the company, you can survey people in the company, make the term paper for that company, and become more valuable. Even if it's outside of your job area. Maybe you can show it to a higher level manager or director and get promoted. And at the same time, that same information could be used and presented to some other company, and that other company could also hire you as a consultant. So you could have two jobs at once. How many companies does Elon Musk work for? Muslimbek, do you know? How many companies does Elon Musk work for? He's a pretty successful guy. Most people are aware of him.
He works for one company, for Tesla.
He works for a shitload of companies.
Really?
Yes. Mr. Jung, how many companies do you know of that Elon Musk works for?
I'm not sure about him, so I have to search.
Oh my gosh. Elon Musk is, yes, he is the leader of Tesla. He's also the leader of SpaceX. He works for that different SpaceX company. He also works for a boring company, the
Zip?
company that drills tunnels from LA to San Francisco and to other states. He's working for several companies at the same time. And he says he has full-time employment in all of them. And he's also a board member for several other companies. So if he can do it, so can you. The other thing is, a lot of people used to think lifetime employment. Well, in our class, we are also doing research about human resource management. And the concept of lifetime management is almost gone. A lot of research says that most people should be planning for employment to last how long? Before I tell you what the research says. Juyong Lee and Mr. Jung and Muslimbek, how long do you think companies and researchers say you guys, the millennial generation, should expect your contract terms to last? Any idea? Mr. Jung, how long have you been working for the company you're working with now?
It's only been like 5 months, I guess. 5 months.
And how long is your contract?
It actually depends because I don't have a contract yet. How do I say?
Ah, you're working without a contract. Even better. Cool. The company's
Even
kind of
better.
suing you, but you are now living with reality. So good. You're already working without any contract. That some people will, I don't want to put ideas in your head. Some people might say that's idea, but it's related to what we're talking about. A long time ago, as soon as somebody started working with a company like Samsung or Hyundai, whatever, they thought they're going to stay there for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And it's going to take care of their family and their everything forever. It's also very popular in Japan, but that does not exist anymore. So Muslimbek and Juyong Lee, do you have a guess? What do you think is the typical contract term of employment?
About 1 year.
Okay, good guess. Juyong Lee, are you there, or
No.
did you just turn on your Zoom camera and you're not actually participating in class? Oh, you are there. Surprise, surprise. Great.
Maybe 6 months.
You're getting closer. Keep going. Mr. Jung, your guess. Muslimbek said 1 year. I said close. Mr. Lee said 6 months. I said good. Closer. Your turn to guess. How long do you think is researchers suggesting millennials plan for your contract employment time? Less than 1 year, less than 6 months.
4, 3.
Less than 3 months. Muslimbek, your turn.
15 days.
15 days. Okay, now we're getting closer. Mr. Lee, your turn to guess even shorter. Researchers and many company executives are suggesting millennials should plan to have contract employment for less than 15 days. So already Mr. Jung's been working there longer than a contract might be offered, but he's found out they didn't even give a contract. So what do you think researchers and company executives suggest if it's less than 15 days? Go ahead, Ju Young Lee. We're not going to burn you at the stake if you have a wrong answer. Go crazy. What do you think? Now, let me rephrase this. You guys are aware that I'm from Canada, but I've spent 5 years or 6 years in Vietnam. I spent a year in Africa, more than 20 years in Korea, 2 years Latin America, many, many years in Canada. I keep going back and forth. Muslimbek, how many countries have you been to and where have you spent a lot of your time?
Of course, I was 15 years in Uzbekistan, 2 years in Kazakhstan. Actually, I was in Asia.
Many places in Asia. Okay. Mr. Jung and Mr. Lee, have you guys spent much time outside of Korea?
No, but I've spent 4 years in the Philippines.
Okay, that's 4 years that is a significant time. Great. So you've lived in the Philippines for 4 years. Great. What about you, Mr. Lee?
I'm just living in Korea only.
Okay. So my point is, we are a random group of people, but we're already from many different countries. So before Mr. Lee and Jung and Muslimbek, you answer the question again. Think about that. You are interacting with people from the other side of the world today, right now. So who are you competing with for jobs? You're competing with people from Canada. I just came from Vietnam. Julian is from Europe. Ali is from Vietnam. Other people from Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, or other countries. So you're competing with people from other countries now, today. How much is the rate? Can you guys guess what is the normal hourly pay for somebody in Korea? How much do people get paid for 1 hour of work or 1 month of work in Korea?
Per hour is 8,591, I guess.
So $8.50. Okay. And per month?
Yes. Per month,
About 2 million, I think, if we calculate.
2 million?
2 to 3, I guess.
So
No,
a lot of people, they want to be working for a job that pays 2 or 3 million won per month, or $2,000 or $3,000 per month. Ali is from Vietnam, and several of other students here are from Vietnam. Do you know how much is the monthly pay there?
No.
$250 a month. Top graduates with a lot of experience, actually top professors with industry experience and PhDs hope to maybe get $300 per month.
Oh my God.
So you're competing against them. Same thing in the Philippines. You're competing against people in the Philippines. People in Nepal are getting $800 a year. People in Kenya getting about $850 salary per year. So if we all live online, if we work online, and you can hire somebody online, why would I hire somebody that's $8.50 an hour or $3,000 an hour if I can get somebody in another country to connect online for a much smaller amount? So we go back to the question, Mr. Lee. We know that researchers and company executives are suggesting millennial generation plan for employment contracts to be less than 15 days. So what do you think is that specific term? How long? If it's less than 50 days, how short?
Maybe 1 week. Yeah.
Okay, we're getting closer. Mr. Jung, he's
3
still
days.
way off. It's
3
much
days.
shorter.
A day or 3 day?
Much shorter than that. Muslimbek.
They can judge just after the interview.
No, I'm not saying how long it takes to get a job. I'm telling you, most HR management researchers and most CEOs, when the CEOs are talking about contracts they are thinking of giving you, if you want to work for them, in the old days, the contract was for the rest of your life. You could work for 50 years, but it has changed. It is no longer a 50-year contract. It's not a 10-year contract, 5-year contract, 1 year, 6 months. It's not even a contract for 1 day anymore. Top CEOs are saying this. So I'm just trying to get you guys to be aware of that. Can you guys believe? Keep going. Muslimbek, if it's less than 1 day, how long will a contract last for? They will pay you for how many hours? The contract is only for a number of hours.
I have no idea, Professor.
Mr. Lee?
1 hour.
2 hours. Researchers and a survey of many CEOs are saying that they plan to offer employment for 2 hours at a time. Basically, they break down one job into the different pieces. And based off of how many pieces it is, maybe that one piece is, you can finish it in 2 hours. And then if you finish that well, they can give you the next job, which is 2 hours. And the next job, which is another 2 hours. And the next job, another 2 hours. So that is what companies are starting to consider. So, Mr. Jung, you have a job, you are working, but you should remember that many, many CEOs plan to lay off their staff because they can get other staff hired in other countries for a very low price. Now they're just looking for the best quality job, the best skills. So sell your class consulting report or your research paper. You can start selling that to companies to get other jobs. You think a job is for many years, but that's not always the way it is. Anyway, maybe I'm talking too much. I just wanted to help make sure that you're aware the class details. Any other questions? Can I help you guys develop your research papers or help you develop your company interview questions? Gunsu Kim, sorry, you're not in the group right now. Kyunggon Jung, were you working with the group of Gunsu Kim?
No, I'm not. I'm with Juyang and Hamin.
Okay. Do you guys, are you comfortable with the research you have? Did you want to show some of those details and I can help you format your term paper and your questions for companies? Which company did you plan to talk to or survey?
Our group, we will continue with Kakao.
Okay. And you are aware that Samsung executives are offering an internship, and Samsung is in I don't know if it's confidential information or not, but Samsung does not have a very popular chat app like Kakao. So it may be reasonable to guess that Samsung might be considering trying to buy Kakao or make something to compete with Kakao. So when you're doing your research about Kakao, knowing that Samsung's very, very interested in it, maybe you can survey and share some of your research with those Samsung executives. And at the end of this class in December, you can also get this job internship you can put on your resume just for sharing your paper, sharing your research and questioning these guys. Other students have already started to do that. Anyway, if you have questions, let me know. You guys are aware of the career development chapter is going to be discussed soon. And Minsu Kim and Felix, they're going to be talking about other topics at the same time. Make sure you talk to each other and clarify who's going to go first. Muslimbek, for example, I would suggest you put a link, save all of your files in one Google Drive folder and take a link to that folder and put that in the Excel file so everybody can see it. Everybody can see the PPT you're going to give. But at the same time, Muslimbek and the other guys, you should say, next class for the first 15 minutes, we are going to take the first 15 minutes to present our PPT, or the first 20 minutes, whatever you want, but write that down, because you already see the more specifics you provide, the more proactively you manage your details, the safer you are. If you wait just to get a job for a company after you graduate, there's a good chance you will never be hired. There's a good chance companies are not just going to walk up to you and say, you look like a cool kid. Can you come work for me? You need to show them your good skills. You need to start bragging. You need to start promoting yourself. So that's why this class is designed that way. Any questions, you guys? No? Okay. Well, if you want, I can go into the chapter questions. That will be reviewed next class, in the second part of this week. Would you guys like me to go into the PPT for the next topic that we were talking about? Or do you guys want to just skip the rest of the class and go back to doing your research today?
Skip and go back to research.
Okay, make sure you know before you hang up on me, I am available. Even though we don't have official class, I'm here. I want to help. And I talk too much. So help reduce your headache. Tell me what you want to learn about. Tell me what you want help with, and I will give you points for sharing that. I will give you details to help you develop with that. Otherwise, have a good day, guys.
Thank you so much, Professor.
I have some personal question, Professor.
Go ahead, Muslimbek. I'll stick around.
Thank you.
Well, Professor, let's leave the lesson. I have some personal questions.
I will stop the recording then. I have stopped the recording. Yes, go ahead.